In Hong Kong, 1967. In the narrow, dimly lit corridors of a film studio, Bruce Lee, perhaps the greatest martial artist who ever lived, was about to face the most dangerous moment of his entire career. What the cameras captured that day was not a simple movie scene nor a carefully rehearsed choreography. It was something different, something real, something raw. It was Bruce Lee pushed to the absolute limit of his existence. The footage remained sealed in a vault for decades, protected by those who understood that it was not material for the public, because what happened did not belong to spectacle. It belonged to the territory where pride, fear, and survival collide without warning. What you are about to learn is a story that only a handful of people alive today can confirm. A tale born in whispers, passed from mouth to mouth. A story about a challenge that emerged from the shadows, about honor, reputation, and a fight that nearly destroyed everything Bruce Lee had built. If those cameras had not been recording, this moment would have been lost forever in the dust of time. Some say it was the fight that transformed him. Others claim it was the exact instant when he stopped being merely a prodigy and became a legend. But one thing is undeniable. What happened that humid summer afternoon in that Hong Kong studio remained hidden from the world for more than 30 years. This is that story. The year was 1967, and Bruce Lee found himself at a crossroads. Years earlier, he had left Hong Kong to travel to the United States, chasing a dream that bordered on the impossible: to break into Hollywood. As an Asian actor, he had achieved what few had. He trained some of the most important figures in the industry. He developed his own philosophy of combat, Jeet Kune Do, and put it to the test again and again in private demonstrations, where his speed and precision left even experienced martial artists astonished. But Hollywood was not yet ready for him. The television success of The Green Hornet and his role as Kato were already behind him. The studios offered no new leading roles. Promises evaporated. Doors began to close. So Bruce returned to Hong Kong. He returned to the city where he had taken his first steps, where he had learned to fight in the streets, where his name still meant something. It was then that Raymond Chow, a producer with a vision few shared, saw what Hollywood failed to recognize. He did not see only an actor. He saw a force of nature. He saw the man capable of redefining martial arts cinema forever. Chow offered Bruce something the United States had never given him: the leading role. The studio Golden Harvest was preparing to launch a new type of action film, faster, more raw, more real, and Bruce Lee would stand at the center of it all. Success, however, always leaves a trail, and where there is success, envy is born. From envy arise challenges. News of his return spread quickly through the underground fighting circles of Hong Kong. Bruce Lee had returned, the man who had gone to America, the man who trained with figures like Chuck Norris and James Coburn, the man who claimed to have created a superior combat system. For some it was a cause for admiration, for others an unforgivable provocation. Among those who heard the rumors was a man named Chung Wei. He was not famous, he did not appear in magazines, he did not seek cameras, but in the humid alleys and dusty rooftops of Kowloon his name was spoken with respect and fear. Chung Wei was a master of Choi Li Fut, a brutal, direct, and devastating style. He had participated in countless clandestine fights without rules, without referees, without second chances. He had never lost. Chun had heard about Jeet Kune Do. He had heard that Bruce Lee called many traditional styles rigid, slow, and obsolete. To him that was not philosophy, it was an offense, a lack of respect for generations of masters, an arrogance that in his world could only be corrected in one way: with a fight. One Tuesday afternoon, without prior announcement and without asking permission, Chung Wei crossed the doors of the Golden Harvest complex. He brought no escort, no credentials, no intention of leaving without obtaining what he had come to seek. He walked through corridors, ignored confused guards, and moved with firm steps toward Stage 3, where Bruce Lee was rehearsing combat sequences for his next film. When Chung Wei appeared at the entrance, the entire studio seemed to hold its breath. Conversations died, movements stopped, even the constant hum of equipment seemed to fade. He was a large man, close to 180 centimeters, broad-shouldered with a compact torso. His hands, hardened by years of iron palm training, looked more like tools than limbs. His face showed no anger, no haste, only an unsettling calm, the calm of someone accustomed to imposing his will through violence. Bruce was explaining a transition of strikes to his stunt team. When he felt the change in the air, he looked up. The other martial artists stepped back almost by reflex. They recognized that presence, a man who had not come to observe or to learn. He had come to measure. Bruce Lee, Chung Wei said in Cantonese, breaking the silence. I have heard much about you, about your new way, your better way. Bruce turned fully toward him. His face remained serene, but his eyes were alert. I do not believe we have met. Chun stepped forward. No, but I know your type. You go to America, learn a few new movements, and return believing you are above the traditions that formed you, above the masters who dedicated their entire lives to perfecting their arts. A wave of tension swept across the set. Bruce breathed deeply. I respect all martial arts, he replied. Jeet Kune Do does not try to be superior. It tries to be honest about what works in real combat. Chung Wei tilted his head and smiled, but there was no humor in it. Then show me what works, he said. Here now, without film cameras, without choreography, without illusions, just you and me. Unless the great Bruce Lee only knows how to fight in front of a screen. The words hung in the air like a sharpened blade. Bruce observed him for several seconds. He could call security, he could end this before it began, he could ignore him. He did not. All right, he said at last. But it will be done properly, with witnesses and with limits. Chung Wei gave a short dry laugh. I do not need limits, but if that helps you sleep better, go ahead. From the production booth, Raymond Chow had witnessed the entire scene and understood immediately that this was not an argument, it was the beginning of something that could not be stopped. If that fight was going to happen, it had to be recorded. He leaned toward a veteran cameraman and spoke quietly. Film everything, no matter what happens. In less than 20 minutes, Stage 3 ceased to be a film set. It became an improvised arena. Technicians, stunt performers, producers, and actors formed a wide circle around the cleared space. No one joked, no one smiled. Bruce removed his shirt. His body was not large or bulky. It was not built to impress visually. It was built to perform. Compact muscles defined, tense like steel cables. He performed a brief warm-up. Fluid movements, absolute economy. Every gesture had a purpose. Chung Wei, by contrast, remained motionless, arms crossed, back straight, eyes fixed on Bruce. He did not need to warm up. He did not need to prove anything. Raymond Chow stepped forward. This is not a street fight, he said. There are conditions. Chun spat on the ground. I came for a real fight. And you will have it, Bruce intervened. No attacks to the eyes, throat, or groin. When someone surrenders, it ends. I will not surrender. Bruce held his gaze. Then it ends when one can no longer continue. A second of silence. Chung Wei nodded. Raymond raised his hand. Both enter this by their own will. The cameras are recording. He lowered his hand slowly. Begin. For 3 long seconds no one moved. The circle of witnesses remained motionless as if the air had solidified. Bruce was loose, relaxed, shoulders low, hands floating at chest level without rigidity. He did not look like a man about to fight. He looked like a man ready to listen. Chung Wei, by contrast, adopted a classic Choi Li Fut stance, wide base, hips turned, fists ready to unleash violence. And then without warning he exploded forward. A direct heavy punch designed to end the fight in the first second. Bruce was no longer there. He slid slightly to the side. The strike cut the air millimeters from his face. Before anyone could react, Chun rotated his hips and launched a brutal hook. Bruce leaned back by centimeters. A murmur moved through the circle. Stand still and fight, roared Chung Wei. Bruce did not respond. Chun attacked again, cascading punches, low kicks, elbows seeking openings. Nothing landed clean. Bruce moved like water, entering and exiting range with short steps, minimal slides, nearly invisible angle changes. After several seconds, Bruce counterattacked. A straight, compact, precise punch struck Chung Wei's jaw. It did not knock him down, but it forced him back. The murmur turned to astonishment. Chun touched his jaw slowly. So you can strike. Good. Now we have a real fight. His expression changed. Calm transformed into fury. He charged like an avalanche, descending punches, knee strikes, kicks intended to break. Bruce blocked, deflected, and absorbed impacts using a fluid blend of Wing Chun, Western boxing, fencing, and free movement, all fused into a single idea: Jeet Kune Do. One of Chin's hammer strikes crashed into Bruce's forearm. The sound was dry, a blow that would have fractured bone in another man. Bruce clenched his jaw and did not step back. They continued circling, sweat sliding across their torsos, breathing growing heavier. "You are fast," Chin admitted between breaths. "But speed is not everything." Bruce held his gaze. "Neither is power. Are you beginning to understand why I created Jeet Kune Do?" Chun pivoted and launched a spinning kick to the ribs. Bruce blocked with his forearm and in the same motion delivered a direct side kick to the supporting leg. Chun lost balance only for an instant, but it was enough. Bruce entered like lightning, strike to the solar plexus, palm to the chest, short hook to the ribs, straight punch to the jaw, all in less than 2 seconds. Chun staggered backward. For the first time he hesitated. Bruce stepped forward. "This is Jeet Kune Do," he said calmly. "It is not a style, it is what works in this moment." Wounded in pride, Chun launched a desperate takedown, drove forward and pushed Bruce against the wall. Bruce lowered his center of gravity, hooked Chin's leg, and turned using his opponent's momentum. Both fell to the ground. Bruce ended mounted above him, absolute control. "Surrender," said Bruce. "Never." Bruce placed his open hand on Chin's throat. He did not press, he simply left it there. "I do not want to hurt you further. Surrender with honor." Chung Wei looked into his eyes. The hatred was gone, replaced by understanding. "I surrender." Bruce removed his hand, stood and helped him up. For a second the studio remained silent. Then it erupted in applause. Chun bowed his head. "You are everything they said." Bruce nodded. "Your Choi Li Fut is devastating. If one of those strikes had landed clean, I would be on the ground." Later, seated opposite each other with ice on hands and forearms, Chun spoke quietly. "Today I learned that more than one path to truth can exist." Bruce nodded slowly. "Fighting is not domination, it is understanding." That same night Raymond Chow gave a final order: seal the recording. "The world is not ready for this truth," he said. "Bruce Lee is human," he paused, "and men are not prepared to see their legends bleed." That night Bruce remained alone in his dressing room, seated before the mirror, silently observing his bruised hands, swollen knuckles, reddened skin, opening and closing them slowly as if trying to understand what they had done and what they might still do. The fight had lasted less than 5 minutes, but it left a deep mark, not only on his body but on his way of understanding himself. It confirmed something he had already sensed with brutal clarity: the path he had chosen was correct, not perfect, not finished, but alive in constant evolution. Chung Wei returned to his school soon after. His students noticed the change immediately, not in his techniques but in his way of speaking. He began to teach with less rigidity and more openness. He listened more, questioned more, demanded less blind obedience and more understanding. He never spoke publicly about that combat. For him it was not a defeat, it was a revelation. Years later, in 1973, when Bruce Lee died suddenly, Chung Wei traveled in silence to attend his funeral. He sought no attention, gave no interviews, he simply bowed his head before the coffin, a simple gesture of respect. Decades later, the sealed footage was discovered in the archives. When it finally came to light, millions around the world saw something they had never witnessed before. Not a character, not a myth, not an invincible hero. They saw Bruce Lee truly fight. They saw a man, and in seeing him many understood something essential. Legends are not weakened by their humanity, they are defined by it. Because the story of that 1967 fight is not about who won or who lost. It is about two warriors who pushed each other to the limit and emerged transformed. It is about Bruce Lee not as an unreachable superhero but as a human being who dedicated every fiber of his existence to the relentless pursuit of excellence. And thanks to those cameras recording, today we know what truly happened when he faced his greatest test. Not in a movie, not in a tournament, but in a real fight that revealed the man behind the legend. If this story reminded you that greatness is born not from spectacle but from discipline, sacrifice, and the constant effort to surpass yourself, then this channel is for you. Subscribe now, activate the bell, and join us in every story that reveals the human being behind the legends. See you in the next video.